Hello there friends, welcome to my Zone Online School. My name is Miss Guriras and I have a friend here with me. This week's theme will be culture and cultural events. But before we can start, let's quickly sanitize our hands. And make sure you sanitize them nicely so that we can keep our hands all germ-free. Now, today's lesson will be all about calendar, comparing and place values. Okay, so we are going to learn about calendar in more detail. Let's quickly turn to page 3 and we will first start with the grade 2 level. And I will explain to you what a calendar is. A calendar is a chart that shows the days, weeks, months of the year. And now here I have a calendar for you for May. But this one is not the whole full calendar. This is only a monthly one. All right. So here we have the days of the week on the first row here. And then we have all the boxes with the numbers in them. For example, if we have to look on the date, the 6th of May, it will be on Wednesday because the 6th is under the Wednesday date. And all the numbers in those boxes stands for the Wednesday. We can always count the boxes. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. We have 6 boxes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we have 6 Wednesdays. We only count the boxes with the days in them. All right. For example, if we have to look at the Sunday of May, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. But how many Sundays do you think we have? We only count the boxes with the numbers in them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes with the numbers. So we have 5 Sundays in the month of May. We also have to know the difference between the day and the date. Okay, when we are referring to the day of the month, we have to mention the day's name. For example, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. But when we have to look at the date, when you are being asked about the date, we look at the numbers inside of the calendar. All right. Okay. So can we quickly look on our page? I have an activity there for you. So whenever you need to fill in this calendar, you have to have one by your side in order to fill in all the empty boxes with the correct dates. All right. So we have also an activity for you there whereby you will need to complete all the sentences. I am going to do for you the first and the second one. The rest you have to do it on your own. For example, the name of the month. What do you think is the name of the month? So you need to look on the calendar because every month has a name which is written on top of the calendar, right? So look at the name of the month. The answer will be there on top. So you have to fill in May because we are busy with May month. The second one will be the month has days. How many days does the month of May have? Can you help me with that, Landre? The days of the month. Then you look at the number of the dates that we have. What is the last number there? 31. 31, eh? That's correct. It's 31 days. So for the rest of the worksheet, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, I would like for you to complete that at home. And remember to have a calendar with you to help you. Now, how about we turn to page 4 for the grade 3 level. Now, there we have all of the months of the year, but they are actually not in the correct order. So I have a calendar here. So I would like for us to read all the names, the months of the year here for us, with us, sorry. The first month is the January. The second one will be February. And then we have March, which is the third. Then we have April, which is the fourth. Landre, what do you think the fifth month will be? May will be? It will be the fifth month, all right? And then we have September, we have May here. And then we have June following, which will be the sixth month. Very good. Then we have July, the 7th. Then we have August, the 8th. And then we have September, Landre, the 9th. And then we have October, the 10th. And then we have November, which will be our 11th month. And then we have our last month, which will be our December. Okay, that's how we count the names of the months orderly, accordingly to our calendar. We have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So we have 12 months in a year. For example, if I have to ask you, Leandre, what month comes before February? So what do? We go to the month of February and we look at the month that we get before February. Which one comes first? First February comes. Before we reach February comes January. Before we can say February, January comes first. All right. What month, can we tell me the sixth month of the year? What do? We count the months until we reach number 6. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the sixth month of the year will be a June. Very good. So that is how you play around with your calendar. All right. So now I have a worksheet there for you, whereby the months of the year are not in order. But as you're going to answer the questions, you have to arrange the months accordingly. I will do the first until the third activity with you, and the rest you can do it on your own. For example, the first month of the year. If you are getting confused, you can always have a calendar by you so that it will make it easier for you to answer the questions. So what do you think is the first month of the year? It's January, so you have to write January. And remember, the months of the year always starts also with a capital letter. Don't forget that. And then we have number 2, the last month of the year. Which one do you think is the last month? December. Awesome. It's December. So you complete also December. So the rest of the activity, I would like for you to complete it at home. Right. I hope you have enjoyed your last activity about calendar. Now we will look on page 5 and then we will focus on comparisons. Okay. Come, Leandre, quickly. Now, if we are standing here, me and Leandre, who is taller? Obviously, I am taller. So that's how we also do the comparing. We are comparing our heights. Same also applies, you can see Leandre. Same also applies when we have to compare the numbers. When we are comparing the numbers, we have to check which one is smaller than the other. For example, if I have a number here, let me just quickly write roughly a number here, a 12 and a 22. Now, how will we know which one is bigger than the other one? How can we compare these two numbers? We can first look on by looking at the numbers on the tens side. On the tens, which of these two numbers are bigger? This one, obviously, because this one has a 2 and this one has a 1. So we encircle the one that is bigger, which will be a 22. Let's quickly look on this one, the 14 and a 15. When we look on the first numbers here, both of them are equal. They are the same. What do? We move on to the next number, which is on the unit side, and then we compare these two. Now, between 4 and a 5, which one do you think is bigger? The one with the 5. So, which means between 14 and a 15, the number 15 is bigger than 14. That is how we also compare the numbers. Now, let's quickly look on our worksheet. The first one has been done for you. The 13, 9, and the 10. The 13 is the biggest number between the other two. Now let's quickly look on the next box. Next to the 10, we have a 21, we have a 12, and we have a 14. Now between those three numbers, which one do you think is the biggest one? Then we first of all look on the first numbers of each one. We have a 2 in the first box. We have a 1 in the next one, and then we have another one there. Which one do you think is the first one? We have a 2. So the one with the 2 is the biggest one. So you encircle the one that says 21. Let's quickly look on the other one. 17, 15, 1. We can see all the digits standing in the first places are all ones. Then we'll move on to the next digits, which represents the units. Then we have in the first box the 7, the second box has the 5, and the third box has the 3. So the one with the 7 is the biggest one. All right, let's quickly look also on the next one. We have a 10, we have an 11, and we have a 12. We can notice by looking on the first numbers that all the first numbers have ones. So which means they are all equal. But then we look on the numbers on the unit side. The first box has a 0, the second box has a 1, and the other one has a 2. So we encircle the one with a 2 because that one is the biggest of them all. All right? So the rest of the boxes I would like for you to complete by encircling all the bigger number that you see in the box. All right? Let us quickly turn to page 6. Now it's the grade 3 level, whereby we are no longer going to encircle the bigger number, but rather put in the greater than sign or the less than sign. The greater than sign simply means whenever we have to put it in, the open of the mouth of the sign should be eating the bigger number, saving the smaller one. All right. For example, we can see the examples given there. We have 6 apples on the left side and the 4 apples on the other side. Which one is greater? Yes, of course. The 6 is greater than the 4, so the mouth should be opening towards the bigger number. Let's quickly look on the next example. We have 3 grapes on the left side and 5 grapes on the right side. Which one do you think is greater? Yes, of course, 5 is greater than the 3. So which means 5 grapes are less than 3 grapes are less than the 5 grapes. All right. Also, the same rule applies whenever we have to look on the numbers here as well. Let's quickly do the first activity. 16 and 31. Look at the numbers standing in front at the place for the tens. We can see we have a 1 and we have a 3 on the other hand. Which number do you think is bigger? Yes, 31 is greater than 16. So the mouth of the sign should be opening towards the 31, which means we are eating the bigger number. Let's look at the next one. Between 70 and a 40. First of all, if you get confused, you look at the places of the numbers, at the tens places, all right? We have a 7 and we have a 4. Between 7 and 4, which one do you think is bigger? Landre? A 70. Very good. A 70. So the mouth of the sign should be opening towards 70. Let's quickly look at the next one, next to 70 and a 40. 27 and 28. We look at the first numbers. They are both the same. They are equal. What do? We move on to the next one, which is at the place of the units. We have a 7 and we have an 8. So between 7 and an 8, which one is greater? 28. That is perfect. So the mouth of the sign should be opening towards 28. So we put in the less than sign in there. So I have an activity for you there so that you can complete it at home. Play around with the numbers, put in the less than or the greater than sign, and compare the numbers with each other. All right. I hope you've enjoyed our previous lesson regarding comparisons. Now turn to page 7. On grade 3 level, we will look at the place values. But what are place values? Place values is a position of a digit in a number. Each position tells us its values. So in a number, we have the hundreds, the tens, and the units. For example, you have been given an example there. Look at the number which is, look at the digit that is been underlined. Is it at the place for the hundreds, or is it at the place for the tens, or is it at the place for the units? We can see the middle one stands for the tens. So the tens is the one that has been underlined. So it asks us about the value of the number. The value, it means if we have to add 3 tens together, we will have 30. But the place is at the tens place. Can you see how it's been decomposed? Then we look at the next one, 572. We have the 500s, you have 7 tens, and we have 2 units. The units place is been underlined. So it means the place value for the unit, for the 2, is the units. Let's look at the next one, 728. So there's a line under the hundreds place. So which means we have the 700s, okay? But there's a difference between the place and the value of the number. Can you see all the numbers in the middle? For example, the 30, the 2, and the 700 are the values of the underlined number. But the last ones, okay, the ones that are underlined, if you are being asked about the places you have to mention, whether it's at the tens place, or whether it's at the units place, or whether it's at the hundreds place. All right. So, okay, let's quickly look at the activity that I have for you there. What is the place value? Remember, place. We want to know the place of the number that is been underlined. Let's look at the first one. 24. The number 4 is the one that is underlined. So we want to know the place. With other words, we want to know the word, the name of that place. Is it hundreds, tens, or the units? You can only see there are only 2 numbers there. It's only tens and the units. So the place for the 4th is the units. So you write the word units there. Let's quickly look on the one next to it, 98. Again here, we only have 2 digits, 9 and an 8. 9 is the one that is underlined, so it wants to know the place. At what place is that 9? It's at the 10th place, so we write the 10th. All right, let's go down to 67. 67, the 7 is the one that is underlined, but what place value is that? It's at the units, so you write the units there. All right, and I would like for you to complete rest of the activities by writing the correct place values next to each number. Down there below, we have to build the numbers. Remember, in our previous lessons, we have learned how to break up the numbers. But this time, we have to build the numbers. All right, what do we do when we are building up the numbers? 20 plus a 3, if it has to become a one single number, what can we do? In short way, we just simply kill the zeros and write the leftover numbers together. Okay, can we practice that? For example, 10 plus a 6. You kill the 0 and then you write the 1 and the 6 next to each other to make out a 16. Now that is a very nice and simple activity for you. I hope you will enjoy by doing that. And now we have come to the end of today's lesson. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson about the calendars and the comparisons and the place values. Remember to always do your homework and please do sanitize your hands. It's very healthy, thoroughly and thoroughly to keep all the germs away. And don't forget about Sushi. So she wants to say something. Sushi, say bye to your friends.
Hi everyone, my name is Shoshi and I am Peck. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
India's Ranthambore Reserve in Rajasthan is home to the rare Bengal tigers. Every year, John Isaac, an Indian-born photographer, travels from New York City to document the lives of these majestic animals.
In the last 10 years, I think my interest has grown tenfold, and I'm very particular about the survival of the tigers.
His goal is to make sure that people everywhere know about the grave danger Bengal tigers face: extinction. John holds seminars and photographic exhibitions from his visits to Ranthambore to raise awareness of the plight of these tigers. He's currently working on a book to document their dilemma due to an increasing human population encroaching on their territory. According to John and wildlife experts, each tiger needs as much as 9 square kilometers to survive, just under 4 square miles. The relationship between tigers and people has always been difficult, but now, with much less territory to roam, tigers often wander into human settlements.
The conflict between the villagers and the tigers has always been there. And then government tries to compensate. If a tiger kills a goat or a cow, they pay a certain amount to the villagers.
In the past, tigers used migration corridors or routes followed by wildlife for travel between summer and winter habitats. Now these pathways have been taken over by people who use them as living quarters and to reap firewood.
We are trying to work with the communities living around and trying to reduce their forest dependency so that we can conserve this corridor patch for the smooth and easy movement of tigers.
Jamuna Devi, a farmer, lives near one of the migratory corridors. She used to depend on the forest for grazing pastures. Now, thanks to a World Wildlife Fund initiative, Jamuna no longer needs to rely on the forest for her family's survival. The secret? Introducing new alternative crops closer to her home.
गई साल बोया हमने खुद ने और ये तो अभी यही गई साल बोया ये आया होया कांदा है हम 25 रोज को तो तारीख को तो बोया ही है और रोज बा में अंतर तो आगा भूलने लगा.
The success of this project has led to even more changes. Jamuna decided to plant fodder for her cattle on her excess land to further preserve the habitat of the tigers. She has also switched to cooking gas so that she doesn't have to collect forest wood for fuel.
जंगल में सब दुनिया ने जहाँ छोड़ दिया तो सब बे होगी कोई काम नहीं करा लकड़ी को भी नहीं करा जंगल में जाने से भी परेशान है दुनिया. गैस भेज दिया सबन के घर घर में वे सभी सिलेंडर पकड़ते हैं और रुपया को कोई समझते ही नहीं है. अब भीतर भरा लावा.
Climate change also has a direct impact on the habitat of tigers.
The last 2 or 3 years, they say, there's been a drought. The rains have not been regular.
Climate change is a serious problem in this country, even it's in the continent. So keeping these forest areas alive and protected is the only solution. This year we have raised a nursery of 10,000 saplings. Forest department have shown their interest. They bought around 2,000-3,000 saplings.
The idea is to plant new trees to replace those lost to severe weather conditions and human activity. Poaching used to be a major threat to Bengal tigers. But thankfully, the number of big cats killed by poachers has plummeted due to measures implemented by law enforcement agencies, resulting in less demand for tiger products. Especially the introduction of camera traps and digital apps, which automatically take photos of moving tigers and suspicious persons moving around in the forest.
Every time I hear something like that, I feel so good. In some ways, some things are working, and so this is what drives me to come and do this. In my lifetime, if the tigers are extinct, I don't know how I'll handle that.
This report was produced by Mary Ferreira for the United Nations.